Okay, I've been having this discussion on my gun control video with, where's his name at? Go to my email. Chaoserrant, Chaoserrant. Um, he put a comment on here, and I'm just gonna go with the highlights, um, talking about gun control. And I asked for proof that gun control works, because I have shown evidence that gun control does not work. Um, You want proof. First of all, to receive proof, you need to, at least theoretically, admit that you might be wrong. Otherwise, no amount of proof will convince you. Just like those who believe we did not go to the moon, you can give them plenty of evidence that they would rather believe in a worldwide conspiracy theories. I'm just trying to justify their belief, so I will touch on the proof issue only once. Alright, my comment is, and I actually had to write some of this stuff down, I do admit I can and have and probably still will be wrong later on in life. I will give you proof that gun control works, but you have to admit that we will never be rid of any type of violence, including gun violence. Now, some proof that gun control works. A guy who just got out of prison cannot go into a gun shop and legally buy a handgun because he has a felony. A person who just got released even 20 years ago, as long as the laws are followed, mind you, cannot go into a gun shop and buy a handgun or any gun legally because court documents say that they are mentally incompetent of holding a firearm. Okay? This is how gun control works. It keeps the guns out of the people's hands who have proven they're irresponsible and should not be trusted with firearms. So, here we go. Now here's his comment. Take Switzerland. Everyone has guns at home, but the ammunition is tightly regulated, or comma parentheses. It is kept sealed in the homes. Carrying permits for handguns are also strictly regulated. The country has extremely low violent crime. Now, you are going to say that low crime is due to other factors. Again, you can argue any direction you want. I don't want to copy their system. All I say is guns are not likely to be misused there. First off, so it's cool if I have a thermonuclear device in my home as long as it's sealed in its container. That's basically what you're saying with this. Now, you have already punched a hole in your own argument saying the country has extremely low violent crime. Now you're going to say that low crime is due to other factors. How about the fact that Switzerland in 2010 had 7.8 million people living in the country? The United States had 311 million. That is a 303.2 million difference. So take the violent crime rate of Switzerland, multiply it 303.2, in fact, just 303 times, and see how it compares to the United States. Now you're comparing two equal things, not an unequal with an unequal. You can't sit there and compare. There's 10 people in this room, one of them is retarded. There are 2 people in this room, none of them are retarded. So this is a smarter group of people. No. Get 10 people over here. Get 10 people over here. Then you compare. It's apples to apples, not oranges to grapefruit. Which, again, you're going to argue it however you want. Next thing, this is him talking. What about drugs? Well, take Singapore. Mandatory death sentences for carrying drugs above a certain limit. Do people want crack in Singapore? Sure, but something tells me it's much harder to get when the hangman's noose looms over your head. Would I like to live in a police state like Singapore? No. But you wanted proof of what regulations can do. All I'm saying is we need a sensitive approach to the issue and recognize that guns deserve serious regulations. I'm going to cut off the finally part. Okay. In my state of Indiana, murder has death penalty. You can get the death penalty for killing one single person. Yet, almost every single day, I ain't about looking this statistic up, but I'm willing to bet at least once a month somebody is killed. Somebody is murdered in the state of Indiana. Death sentence don't care. They don't care. And the reason is simply this. I know a guy who, last time I knew he was still there, was on death row for a crime he committed before I was born. And I was born in 78. And he's still sitting on death row. I know a guy who actually lives about 4 blocks from me right now, who was an inmate in the prison I worked at, who was convicted of 4 murders. He had 4 death sentences, but he pleaded out and got, I think it was 25 years for 4 murders. He got released, he got paroled and under 12. That is why that's why it doesn't work here. Because we plead stuff down, we let people go. Right now in the state of Indiana, as long as you behave yourself, for every 1 day of sentence you serve, you're going to have 2 taken off. Okay? That means if you get a 3-day sentence, as long as you don't break no rules, you'll be home in 1. Free and clear. Free and clear. No parole, no probation, none of that. You are released. Full sentence. That is wrong. Now, let me touch on this. First off, when we first about Switzerland, I don't want to copy their system. All I say is guns are not likely to be misused there. I don't know if you can see this. Now, in Singapore, would I like to live in a police state like Singapore? No. So there you have already shot holes in your own argument saying that you don't want that. So you're going to say, this is how it should be, but that's not what I want. So you can just take those 2 and throw them away right now from your own mouth. Now, let's go on to the last part. Answer me this. How come you can live with the state requiring you to go through driving tests before you can drive? How come you accept that doctors need to pass exams before they cut you open? Nobody takes on faith these skills. We as a society demand training and supervision. What is so appalling to get serious with gun regulation and enforce some responsibility? Now let me ask you this. Do you think in USA we do all we can to prevent gun misuse? Hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying people should not get trained. Okay? I'm saying you should get trained. Now, operating a motor vehicle. Here's a handgun. Okay, this is a Smith & Wesson 396, I believe. 497. Okay, here's your control. Every control on this gun. You have a hammer. You have a cylinder release. You have a trigger. You have a cylinder. You have an ejection pin. Okay, or ejector. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 controls. On my steering column on my car, I have turn signal, gear shifter, windshield wiper, horn, power steering, emergency flashers. That's 6 on my steering column. Not to mention the brake pedal. Not to mention the gas pedal. Not to mention the actual steering wheel. You have a lot more complicated maneuvers with a motor vehicle than you do with a gun. Now, what I really love is, at the same token, guns are too easy to operate. Okay? Now, and also in surgery, I studied to be a surgical technologist, meaning I assisted a surgeon. That is unbelievably complicated. In fact, they call it practicing medicine because nobody's got it down right. Nobody does it perfectly. And another thing, those 2 things affect the public. When I'm driving in my car, I'm out in public. I'm doing that amongst you. You can visibly see me. When I'm carrying my handgun concealed, you don't know it. You have no idea that it's happening. It's as if it doesn't even exist until I need it to defend my life or to defend somebody else's life, like you. Like the people who want to take this away from me. Now, your final question there. Now let me ask you this. Do you think in USA we do all we can to prevent gun misuse? No, we don't. We pass stupid laws that have no effect on gun control or the actual issue. The 1986 gun, or 1984, right, 1994 assault weapons ban did absolutely nothing. Not a single thing on that banned list did any mechanical difference to the firearm. Okay? Not a single thing. Changing a pistol grip to a thumb hole stock on an AK-47 does nothing to affect its lethality. Okay? I have in my possession right now, over there in my gun cabinet, an AB-10 that was a Tech 9. But the 1994 law stated you can't sell guns with barrel shrouds. So they cut the barrel down to about that big. Now it's perfectly legal. It has a shorter barrel, making it more concealable. But it's okay by the law now. What good does that do? Nothing. What we need to do is we need to educate. That's why I love the NRA's Eddie Eagle program. What that does is that teaches young kids, if they see a gun, don't touch it. Leave it alone. Go get an adult. Go get a police officer. Go get a fireman. Go get somebody who has some level of responsibility that they know is there. And yes, I know they're bad firemen and I know they're bad cops. Okay? That's what they teach. They teach the gun laws, gun rules of safety. Never put your finger on the trigger until you're prepared to fire. Always treat a firearm as if it's loaded. Never point the firearm at anything you do not intend to kill. These are things that we need to teach. These are things that we need to educate the massive public on. Not say, guns are bad, guns kill, guns kill, guns kill. Because guns don't kill, people kill. That is one thing that just drives me nuts about this whole issue. People are the problem. People kill with guns, people kill with cars, people kill with bottles, people kill with sticks, people kill with their bare hands. Now, show me some proof that gun control works outside of what has already been done. It's already supported by 90% of all enthusiastic gun owners.